People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in. Now, sadly, Arsenal's under 18s were defeated in the FA Youth Cup 4-1 against their Blackburn Rover counterparts. First and foremost, you must be gracious in defeat. Credit to Blackburn. They were obviously playing at home. It's the FA Youth Cup, so this is the first initial stages. A lot of these boys are going to get to start playing in front of crowds with a couple 100,000, whatever sort of people, a couple hundreds and thousands and stuff like that. And I feel every Blackburn player can give a credit to them. Wright Phillips obviously did well. Luke Brennan did well. Is it Pike, the right back, did well. Their number 8 did well. Considering he scored 2 goals, I shouldn't forget his name, but their striker scored 2 Ds. Well, 1 goal we gifted to them, but definitely his first goal was a banger. I forgot his name, but the black centre-half did well. Is it Whitehall? They had a player, I forgot his name, but he can fill in that centre-half as well as a couple of other roles. Man to a man, Blackburn were better than us. Blackburn gave all they could. Couldn't ask for more if I was their manager. Conceded a goal, that was probably it, not keeping a clean sheet. But in terms of commitment, in terms of game management, in terms of standing up to be counted and not wanting to let your teammate down, Blackburn did that. Blackburn were better than us. We were second best in every department, as the scoreline reflects. For me, of course, it's disappointing, man, because we've had a terrible time in terms of the league campaign. I badly want us to win the FA Youth Cup, and I did believe we could go far in this competition. So to be out of it in such a manner is quite deflating, people. So it is what it is. Miguel Aziz played, obviously, like you saw, in a bit of a different role in that he was the deeper of the midfielders. Muro Bandera played, and I think he's had better games. I think his passing radars was a bit off, but it's lovely to see the young schoolboy with a lot of potential starting. Charlie Patino, for me, potentially should start. He was on the bench, as was Flores and Kijan. Who else was there? There was a couple of other changes here and there. You had Mondeweez, you've got a Gombo filling up at left back. We've obviously got 2 experienced players in Ben Cottrell and Sam Greenwood, so there's enough in the team. You've obviously got Kiddo on the left-hand side working his way back from injury, so there's enough in our team to do well. We've got to learn to defend better. We let ourselves down defensively. A lot of it was last-ditch defending, resolute defending, chasing shadows, not looking over shoulders, just basic game management. In the first 20 minutes in particular, Blackburn were all over us. We didn't get anything going. In fact, it sounds silly, and we had a better second half, but we didn't test their goalkeeper. He had nothing really to do. We really struggled to have possession in their half. We really struggled to win the midfield battle. Ben Cottrell looked good whenever we had a set piece or dead ball situation, but we couldn't get him on the ball. Muro and Aziz struggled, I believed, against Blackburn, in my opinion, in the midfield. Blackburn had the beating of both our fullbacks whenever they wanted at will, in Luke Brennan, who was a terrorist down that left-hand side, and Wright Phillips on loan from Manchester City on the right-hand side. And to be fair, Blackburn, they scored 4 goals, but they should have scored 4 in the first half, really and truly. They were getting past us, but I'm sure they would probably say that added quality in terms of finishing off efforts wasn't there. And that's alarm bells for us. They're putting in overhit and underhit crosses. They're putting together nice bits of play at will, really and truly, people. We are struggling, people. We really are struggling. I feel from an Arsenal perspective, we're too slow. We're very sloppy on the ball. We're too slow in reacting versus being proactive. We're not playing like this is a chance to get to a final of a cup competition. Our game management, we're not on the transition. We're not transitioning and creating anything. But defensively, when we're defending, there's too many gaps in our midfield. Fullbacks are not covering quick enough. Centre halves are not. I feel Mondeweez did alright today, but just collectively, defensively, we just were all over the place, and it was quite concerning, really and truly. On the 19th minute and the 20th minute in particular, Wright Phillips was involved in a number of decent bits of play. Like I said, I think Blackburn was sloppy in periods, but they were definitely more fluid than us, had more desire than us, were playing more that they understand what's at stake. If their players are more experienced, then they're more experienced. But yeah, and even their fullbacks, is it Ged? And I definitely remember Pike, because he hit the crossbar, I believe, in the second half. Their fullbacks are getting forward. Their wingers have the beating of us, and our defenders are just having to react. And it's last-ditch defending, really and truly. We're not able to get Greenwood in the game, and he looks very frustrated, in my opinion. It's just tough for us, people. The only benefit at a point is that we're not a goal down, but that changed, people. And it's a very good finish from the, I can't remember the striker's name, I'm not gonna lie. It's a very good finish, but we've given him too much space. And again, Aziz is not concentrating really and truly. I love that he's very calm on the ball, but he needs to do things quicker. His pocket is picked, they take it and they smash it in, people. It's a poor goal to concede. It's 1-0, it happens. It's about how we react from this moment. And I'm not gonna lie, people, we took too long. We really took too long to react. Going into the second half, it was more of the same. And end of the first half, sorry, it was more of the same. That being said, Yorke down the right-hand side put a lovely ball in for Greenwood, who headed it into the path of the goalie. The game could have been flipped on its head. There was nothing he could do. I couldn't ask more from Greenwood for that effort, but the game could have been flipped on its head. But that was really the only significant chance. At a push, I'd say Ryan Elaboso, he went forward when he could, but it weren't nothing. We didn't create nothing. We didn't do nothing, really and truly. We're not playing like this is an FA Cup game and we can get to latter stages. In games like this is where players have to learn. You have to, Mertesaka's in the stands, Mertesaka's travelled to watch. That's head of youth development. A lot of these players are spoken about as having potential, which they do, but this is a time where for all your technical ability and stuff, you need to stand up to be counted. That doesn't necessarily mean scoring the winner. That means having accountability in your performance, leaving it with real credibility. Mertesaka's watching. Obviously, he's in charge with long-term development pathways at the club. You know, I'm sure a lot of these players want to benefit from that. So there's enough reasons to want to turn on the style, really and truly. Do you think we've been dealt a short hand with a couple of the options we started the game with? But that's more with management, people. And considering we've been woeful in the league, this could have been a release. But like I said, Greenwood and Ben Cottrell are not having a sniff. Moro, Bendera and Aziz are kind of struggling in midfield. Mon Louise is doing what he can in defence, but everybody's being ran ragged. You know, as a team, we're just doing doggy laps. And yeah, man, we probably needed all the crates of Lucas we could get at half-time and all the re-energizers. We need to wake up and actually test their goalie, because their goalie had a good game, but he wasn't really tested. The only way I can describe it really is naive collective defensive errors, and really just self-inflicted, as much as Blackburn are playing well. Like Wright Phillips was really a danger down the right hand side, and I really like how Brennan plays. But to go into half time, I don't see how we're going to score. I think we need to wake up. I don't think we threatened their goalie, and everything I've already previously said, people. Second half opened up a bit. I mean, when we went 2 goals down, we then started to have possession in their half, which is too little too late. Again, 2-0, it's a terrible goal to concede, really and truly. And it talks about the defensive phase. It's about 2-3 passes. Their goalie distributes it to, I believe, Pike, the right back, who heads it on to Wright Phillips. And he's been threatening down this side all game. And to be fair, it's a very good finish from him. Again, Alex Kirk is at 6s and 7s. Ogombo's had a tough time at left back. Again, collectively as a team, we can defend better. It's never just one person's fault. It's a lovely run from the lad and finish, but it's a terrible goal to concede and a painful one. It's 2-0 down, 6s and 7s defensively. At 2-0 down, we've seen a mini reaction from us. We're starting to get the ball down, and what? Better late than never, I suppose. 3-0. Again, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. It's a lovely run from Brennan, who deserves a goal, like Wright Phillips, but for what he's been doing on the left-hand side. But from a defensive point of view, our right back and Mikel Aziz, he's ran in between both of them. Neither guy is aware, and he's ran in and finished. And that's what we need these young players to learn from, people. So it's 3-0, and it's a madness for us. At 4, when they scored their 4th, again, it's a poor defensive performance again for this goal. Aziz's clearance doesn't go far enough, and they take advantage of that, really and truly. Don't think they'll score many easier goals than they did. This is a game where we need to learn from, people. We really need to learn from. Really need to learn from. Because if you look at someone like Miguel Aziz in particular, definitely got potential to reach the first team, in my opinion. Lovely to see him getting minutes in 23s. Actually playing a different role, more, you know, the first midfielder who builds play, more of the Xhaka sort of role against Blackburn. And he's got a lot of maturing to do. I love that he's calm on the ball, but I go back to in the league, the penalty he conceded against Norwich, getting caught in possession today. He's got to do, not just him, but players have to do things quicker. This was a game for game management as well. How you start games, how you react to going a goal down and things like that. Do you see what I'm saying? Miguel Aziz, I believe, has got all the potential, and I do believe within the next 18 months to 2 years, he can make his debut for the first team. But he's got a lot of development to do. In particular, Phil Patenot should have started. I think when Flores and Kijan came on, respectively, they introduced some energy. And you saw that when we got our consolation goal. Lovely play from Flores and Ogombo down the left-hand side. Meziz in particular, playing at left-back, had a tough time in this game. Really the first time of note I've seen him go forward. Flores has been really not been able to do much in the game, but he's been working hard on the left-hand flank, trying to install some energy. And them two, it's more or less a 1-2. It's more or less them creating it. Flores plays it back. Meziz smashes it home, people. It's a good finish, really and truly. It's just a sad fact that it's 4-1 down, really. And it is what it is. And being out of this competition just caps what has to be described as a disappointing season at this level, really and truly. I heard the commentators say, let me find the statistics, people. I must have it. Can't find the statistics I have, but I know for a fact we're 8th in the league. We've had 7 defeats. We've got 4 wins in our last 16. We're out of the FA Cup. You know, we're 8th in the league, considering we're trying to retain that league title. It's a pretty poor performance at that. So it's a season of learning, it's a season of experience for these players. It's a season of them to take a lot of things away. You look at people like Miguel Aziz, they're progressing to 23's level, so he probably won't feature too much next season if he is eligible for this level. Greenwood and Ben Cottrell and Sam Greenwood will be stepping up to 23's level. You've got people like Kiddo Taylor Hart. Hopefully he gets through his injuries and is able to put in a performance at this level. We've got a lot of schoolboys. The one positive is that you've seen Flores get minutes, Patenol get minutes this season. Mauro Buendia starting in midfield against Blackburn, another schoolboy. Mon Louise, who's played frequently at this level. There's a lot of other players. Flores off the bench. You had Jeffcott on the bench in the game as well. And a lot of other players who are featured in different games. The one benefit is we've got a lot of them to step up. But I would be amazed if even in particular in centre defence, if we don't bring in 1 or 2 players at this level, whether that's players that people have scouted from abroad, which we've been beneficial of, or we go to other English teams or non-league and make up the numbers. Because I do feel with the first years to come and the remaining second years, we would need 1-2 additions for this side, people. But I do think the potential's there for a lot of them. I think this is a lesson for them to learn. You look at Miguel Aziz, he was given a hard time in midfield. These are lessons you need to learn and detach from reality. How good you might think you are, if he does. I'm not saying he does. And how good what you need to do to improve, because off the ball transitions offensively and defensively played a big part into how we lost this game. How you manage games, how you react to going a goal down. 2-0 down, you should really get back in that game, and it's 2-1, 2-2. You've got to look at why has it gone from 2-0 to losing 4-1, and we was 4-0 down at a point. If I really scrutinise it, 3 goals in one half. Do you see what I'm saying? People need to go back to the drawing board. How can we bet on field as well, on the pitch? How can the players sort it out themselves? Because as I've said, Brennan down the left-hand side, and on the right, Wright Phillips, we can see it's happening. The manager obviously knows it's happening, but the players, has someone not got to say to themselves, whether it's a left winger, let me go back with DiMaggio, Wright Phillips, let me go back with Luke Brennan, because my fullbacks are being killed. Midfielders, okay, I want to play a certain sort of way, but let me sit, or how I want to play isn't happening, let me change how I'm playing. We're at that level where obviously you have to listen to your coach and tactically, but what's going to separate these players from having careers at Arsenal or elsewhere is the ability to think. I've seen many players, and you've seen it yourself, with wonderful technical ability, can do everything, but their temperament not only lets them down, but they're not the best thinkers. The best footballers are the best thinkers. Lionel Messi, you can sit here and praise his technical ability until we're blue in the face. Look at my skin colour, we'll be here all day. Messi is a wonderful footballer, but above all, he thinks quicker. He sees things before they've happened. Look, not to keep mentioning Aziz, but midfielders, what separates the best midfielders is how they think. Yeah, some might have goals, some might dribble, some might look Hollywood, but when you cut down the crap, the best footballers are the ones that see pitches quicker and assess accordingly, people. So there's a lot to learn in this game. There's been a lot to learn this season in particular from an Arsenal under-18 standpoint. And as much as the players and the coach, I think we've got a big recruitment job to do, really and truly. Not just at this level, but potentially 1-2 additions at 23s as well. So there's a lot of work for Mertesacker as well and the rest of the lads in the coaching team to deal with. But on that note, it's disappointing, very disappointing for me to see us lose 4-1. And yeah, it's a game where we need to learn from it. I don't want to sit here and say we need to learn from stuff. I wanted us to be into the next round, but it's where it is. Credit to Blackburn Rovers. They fully deserve to go through. They were the better men on the day. And hopefully we're sitting here a year from now in more positive spirits. But for now, our FA Youth Cup run is over. People, deluded, I'm out. Please comment if you've got any, because I made a case of alerting you lot via Twitter that this game was shown on the FA's official YouTube channel. If you just type in FA Youth Cup, it will come up. In fact, I'm pretty sure if you type it up on YouTube now after this video, it will come up as well. But on that note, I've got nothing more to add, so I'm going to keep it moving and get out of your hair. God bless you for watching my vid. Stay safe, people. Hope you return. People, deluded. I'm out.